you're live any second.
Oh,
But you can pop it a message in the chat. Okay, because I think we are live now. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. I have a fantastic guest with me today. I'm just going to hit the recording button on my side so I can get an extra copy. So my guest today is Soma ARah, the Pleadian child, the psychic channel and shaman, and Soma is going to be answering some live questions in the Q&A, which is a series that we're doing at the moment, and also doing donation-based readings. So hopefully we'll have some people join us. But welcome, Soma. How are you?
hi, Julia. I'm really good. I just wanted to, I'm not actually a shaman. I'm a shamanic practitioner. And I'm a psychic medium, but I also channel the Pleiadians. So yeah. But yeah, I'm really good. I haven't seen you for quite some time or connected with you, and we've crossed paths a bit, but I wanted to see how you are.
I'm okay, I am, but I've been dealing with some alter integrations from other versions of me, which have been a bit traumatic. So I've been dealing with that, which is super soldier stuff, and I've started to write my memoir. Just love how that sounds. So I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book series based on my discovery process of kind of rediscovering who I really am and why I don't remember my childhood and things like that, because it's all linked into these covert programs, these these super soldier special access programs that were covert. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm also getting ready for the Basis 2026 conference,
Fantastic.
which is in June. So yeah, so I'm starting to support that conference right now. I'll be working on the design, the programs, the ticketing and things with Miles this week. So that's really cool. And but yeah, that's what's going on with me. I'm just hanging in there basically. How have you been?
I have been.
Your camera's gone off as well, by the way.
Yes, I turned it off just now,
Okay.
just for a few minutes. Yeah, I'm really good. The energies are, for people listening, the energies today have, for me, and also collectively, they have really um, taken an upward spiral. Things have really shifted. And I know well, I saw something about it being to do with astrology as well. But the energies are really very positive at the moment. So I'm doing really well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah, I've not made it to that many of the groups lately. I've started doing these early morning lives at like 5 a.m. UK time, because I was trying to get to 500 followers and I was on like 408, I think, when I started. I'm on 521 now, so it's been going really well. And
It's
we've kind of
5:23,
is
Julia.
it really? Oh wow. And we've set up like this little community gathering like really early in the morning now, so I've got to continue.
I wanted to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been good. It's been fun. So I get people coming on my channel from all over the world. So, from Europe, from Australia, from America. So we get a really lovely mixture of people here. And most of us kind of frequent the Typical Skeptic podcast as well. And I think some people might even be familiar with your channel. So yeah, so do check out Soma's website as well, somaarah.love. And but Soma's going to just take some questions as well. We're doing live Q&A on this series at the moment, so we can get your perspective on what's going on in the world or things that you've experienced with the Pleadians that you're connected to, Ashtar Command. And then we'll also be taking donations for Soma to do donation-based readings, so that she can get some support, to help her with her work. So we really appreciate that. So thank you to everybody who's joining us live. Please pop messages in the chat if you have got general questions for Soma, and I will read out whatever I see in the chat. So please be careful with your wordings.
That's
I'm very
right.
autistic at times, and I have my moderators have to catch things before I read them out. So it's quite funny. So you're in Ireland. What's it like in Ireland right now?
Today and yesterday, yesterday was very warm. Today was lovely, very warm. Yeah, definite shift in the weather and the energy as well. Yeah, it's been lovely today. Very sunny, very warm.
You noticed any kind of UFO activity, UAP, or whatever they say these days?
There has been a lot of reports of UFOs. I think there was a large crowd I saw recently in Ireland within the last week, where there was an influx of a large group of UFOs in over Ireland. I'm not sure what county it was. I don't think it was Cork, but yeah, that's very interesting.
Okay, so there's a message in the chat and it's about a relationship, but we're not really doing relationship readings. But if you would like to have a personal psychic message from Soma, then please send a donation to paypal.me/Anchorhaven, or if you've got her PayPal, then please send that in. But right now, if you've got any general questions for what's going on in the world, that kind of thing. So what's your take on current events, especially with like, the meat that's being used, the human meat? What do you think about all that?
Oh, goodness, diving deep straight away. Well, there have been reports of human meat found in places like Mac. We all know what I'm saying. Um, and yeah, I mean that. Wow, Julia, straight away. Okay.
Sorry, I've just come off a Super Soldier podcast where we're literally diving deep into mind control, off planet this, and whatever. So I've just done an interview with
Yeah.
John Whitberg. That's where my head is right now. And I was
Okay.
interviewed Miles yesterday, and Miles
Lovely.
just went for it. Right? He was using all the words that we try not to use, and he really went for it. But yeah,
Oh,
you.
was he really?
Oh
Okay.
yes,
That
yes, he was.
surprises me.
Yes.
But yeah, let me start off by saying that at the during the times of Atlantis, the downfall of Atlantis was caused by an invasion of negative ET race or species. So they have been running this planet ever since then, and they have been in charge of, at the top of every pyramid, every system at the pyramid, top of the pyramid in every system on Earth. So including big pharma, including the governments, including the health, including food, including every system on earth. So it doesn't surprise me at all, and that there's human meat in food, and that is veering into the very negative stuff that's been happening that is hard for a lot of people to face, but it is real shit going down. It is heavily involves the Vatican and the Catholic Church and the big pharma and medical companies and adrenochrome and satanic worshipping and Illuminati and the Cabal and all of that. And it's all connected. It all goes back to reptilian and negative ET alien species that are running the planet, that are behind, um, um, let me spell it out, that are behind certain groups and families and um, certain three-letter agencies, uh, like that one. And
So I had Helena on from Belgium, and she said called them the regressives. So the dark forces, the cabal, whoever, she called them regressives. I quite like that terminology to
yes,
think about the dark side, basically. Yeah, dark elite.
I like that term as well, the regressives. It sums them up very well. And I think a lot of them with because we're in the ascension process now, so a lot of them are being exposed and coming to light, like Epstein and even spiritual leaders like the Dalai Lama and the what's his name, Deepak Chopra. Um, and I was watching a video the other day, and it was recent, and it was by Eckhart Tolle. And he was praising Deepak Chopra, which I was very surprised of. And he was also praising Oprah Winfrey, which I was also very surprised at. Um, so I don't know where. Eckhart Tolle stands with in that whole system? That's a big question for me now, because if he's praising the likes of Deepak Chopra and Oprah, because he appeared on Oprah years ago, probably more than once. Um, so it's a big question in my mind now for a lot of the spiritual leaders, like, because there's the whole Hollywood and CIA, and it's like those spiritual leaders or gurus have millions of followers. So yeah, with the human meat being found in meat, it's not surprising. I mean, there's videos going around by a couple of people who have done the math on how many cows there are, and there are not that many cows, and not enough to produce those
Yeah.
vast amounts of meat needed to make burgers and
Yeah. It's the same for KFC as well. I'll just say that because they did that weird advertising campaign, which was supposed to be kind of worshipping the KFC, but it was very odd. But also, when was the last time you saw a new cemetery being created?
yes, exactly.
Never, never, ever have I
Never.
seen it in 50 years, not once.
Yeah. So yeah, that begs the question of what is going on there, like with the cemeteries. Um,
It's all related, unfortunately. It is all related. But from the super soldier perspective as well, there's a lot of things that get taken off planet. So a lot of the kind of people who've passed away might actually get regenerated off planet. So who
yes.
knows? Yeah. So I mean, I suppose that's comforting in a way that they're not being used for food. Oh my God. So oh, Kat has put in a comment saying natural flavors.
Mm.
Oh my word. Well,
Yeah, which could mean anything, anything
which
under the sun.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, what is natural? Blood is a natural thing.
yeah,
Teeth are a natural thing. Um,
yeah.
Locusts are a natural thing. Beetles are a natural thing.
Yeah, so they're hyping up putting the insects in now, aren't they? Somebody put a post on, I don't know if it was on one of my on my YouTube or whatever, but they were in like a just a regular store, and then on the counter there was a thing about locusts. So you could buy boxes of locusts just as a snack. Like that's really gross. I mean, I lived in Asia, so it's normal in Thailand to have bugs in the market, and people love all that. Obviously not something I've tried, not drawn to it at
Oh,
all.
no.
But they say it's a source of protein, don't they? Protein. So when you're buying something and it says
Yeah,
protein,
yeah,
know that that may
yeah,
not that may be an unusual
yeah,
source.
yeah. In fact, Julia, I think it was last year, I was staying at Dennis's brother's house for a good few months in Cork. And in the supermarket, Lidl next door, big Lidl next door, kind of down the road a little bit. I was in there one day and I saw frozen, I think it was locusts actually. And this is in Cork in rural Ireland. This is not in London or big city or anywhere, but they were selling frozen locusts or something like that. And I think in the end they took them off the shelf because no one was buying them, surprisingly enough. And also the word protein is another word for bugs, and insects. There's huge factories that they've created to in America, and I'm sure they're worldwide by now. To they let the bugs breed wild. You're not wild, but they let the bugs breed in the space. They've got like huge factories, and which is just a huge metal building, but it's vast, and they just let the insects breed, and they call them protein. Also mealworms as well, and all kinds of things. It all comes under the word protein. A lot of it. Protein bars. They're really big on selling promoting protein bars and all of that stuff. And it might seem like the world has gone crazy, but it's been like this a long time. It's just that everything is being exposed and coming to the light. And human trafficking and child trafficking and the Vatican and the Satanic and the Illuminati and all of that stuff. It's been going on since the downfall of Atlantis.
So there's a question in the chat from Tiffany saying, have you seen the second moon?
I've heard about it. I haven't seen it. I haven't been outside with my other witches at night recently.
I don't do moon stuff. I'm solar. I'm a Solarian. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, occasionally I'll run the like a new moon cycle or whatever. That's because people like it, and it's a good opportunity to refresh, you know, and set intentions or whatever. I do occasionally do burning things, but not as much as all the other witches out there.
What
So,
do you burn, Julia?
well, for me, if we have this ritual at the start of the year, which is a bit backwards in a way, but it works for us. So you write down 10 things that you would like to achieve, okay? 10 things that you would like to achieve at the start of the year, and you pick one, and that's the one that you're going to focus on, and the rest you surrender to the universe. So we have this little ritual that I found on Instagram, but it works for us. And so you burn these things, saying to the universe, I trust you. I trust that you're going to allow this to happen for the highest good of all, or whatever, you know, if it's on my highest timeline. And we burn it and we send it out into the universe. Now, this year on my list was a particular course I wanted to do, but the course was £4,500, and I've wanted to do this course for more than 10 years, so it's nothing new, but I put it on the list. And
What's the
within
course, Julia?
it was a security based course. Yeah, sorry, I'm not going to go into it too much. But it was, but within 2 weeks of me doing that ritual, had I not only found the course, I was enrolled on it, and it was fully paid for by the government. Right, so wow, so that worked. So yeah, so I don't do that much burning, and I don't do that much moon work, because for me personally, I'm in the super soldier narrative, so that moon is a base. Yeah, there's like an egregore where everyone's put all their kind of intention towards the moon, so there's that consciousness. And I do love to work with the moon goddess Selene, the Greek goddess. I love that energy. So I do believe there's moon goddess energies there, but I don't believe that the moon itself is something that we should be worshipping. I think it's just taken on a different life of its own. Anyway, um, okay, so Tiffany's saying, I saw the coolest thing whilst listening to a lady playing the flute. It was a giant golden sun. Then it split into two golden suns. That's really interesting. So I know the natives years ago, really ancient, they did talk about two moons, didn't they? First there was no moon, then there was two moons, and then there was one moon. Is that right? Have I got that wrong? I'm not sure.
I've
Uh,
heard that. I think I've heard that.
yeah.
Um,
But I believe the moon was put into place there for nefarious reasons.
yes, so do I.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So what have the Palladians been saying lately? Because I've missed quite a lot of your channeling sessions, but people can recap them on your YouTube or your Substack, and see what's the general theme coming from the Palladians right now.
Well, firstly, let me add that years ago, I had a message from the Pleiadians, and it was that, and it was really important. It's in my book, The Pleiadian Child, on Amazon, by Carol Ann Noonan, which is my birth name. But the message was that I would witness a time in my lifetime, quote, when there will be two suns, or what appears to be two suns in the sky, end quote. So uh, a lot of my, well, some of my channeling from when I started in 2009 consciously is in my book, The Pleiadian Child. If anyone would like to see that, my website is somaarah.love. But yeah, the two moons, I've heard that, and I do believe that that the message they gave me about the two suns, or what would appear to be two suns. I know that Miles has said that he doesn't believe that. He kind of used a bit of foul language, but anyway, even though there's been a lot of evidence, people photographing and video recording the two suns, which have been witnessed around the earth, you know, in various different places. So Yeah, I mean, there's so much that we could talk about, Julia, that's been hidden from us, or we've been lied to, on the sun and the moon and the planets and the stars and who we are, where we came from, why we're here.
Mm.
What does it even mean to be a starseed? And the various groups like the one I mentioned earlier, that one. Um, you know, Hollywood, the satanic cults, the Catholic Church, the human meat being found in burgers and other fast food places. I mean, where does all that beef come from? Because it's not from cows, that's for sure. They could not, they could not keep up with the demand of meat from cows. So goodness knows where it comes from. There is like that's all tied into Epstein and human trafficking and child trafficking and the horrendous acts that they've done on children and the underground tunnels and the royal family and oh goodness, it's mind-boggling for
It's overwhelming. Yeah, so I'm doing a sacred sites series at the moment, which is generally tied into ancient technology and stuff like that. I'm doing it with John Whitberg, who's like the SSP experiencer. But have you been to sacred sites in Ireland?
I have. Yes, there's one very close to me that I'm going to be doing a workshop in this year. I haven't set a date yet. But it's Blarney and it's called the Seven Sisters and it's an ancient site. It's on the Blarney Castle grounds and it's called the Seven Sisters, which is, of course, the Pleiadian Seven Sisters, even though there's nine star seeds, nine stars within the Pleiades star system. But yeah, there's a lot of sacred sites in Ireland. And I've been to quite a few of them. I've been to Tara, I've been to Inishnook, I've been to Blarney Castle and the Seven Sisters there. And goodness, where else have I been? Carramore in Sligo. Which is an ancient Pleiadian site, a sacred site that not many people know it was a Pleiadian connection. But in the same way that the Pleiadians created Egypt and used to live there, there's a site in Ireland in Carramore. There's two Carramores in Ireland. One is in Sligo. I'm talking about the one in Sligo, where the Pleiadians used to actually um, live there physically, because the Pleiadians, did live on Earth at one point. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have had one donation that's coming in. So let me know when you feel up to doing like a personal reading for somebody. We need to raise your vibe a little bit more first though. But I'm sorry because I just totally negged you out with all the real world questions. There's a question here and it's from Tiffany. Does Soma see an end of these corrupt alphabet agencies and religions? So do you think there's going to be a big change?
Well, my vibe is good at the moment. I'm in high vibes today, which is great. Uh, I think they are gradually going to come to, yes, they're gradually, it's not going to happen overnight because um normal people, I don't like using the word normal, but because we are abnormal. In fact, we are pretty exceptional, um, being that we come from the stars and we don't fit into all the bullshit systems. Like, and do I see them coming to an end? Absolutely, but it's going to take a, a while. I don't even know how long a while is. It might be generations. It's certainly not going to happen in completion, for some time. It's going to take a while to bring down the likes of Jill Bates and Epstein, and because he was not working alone. he would have had a whole team of people. Um, and he would have employed thousands of people. He was not working, he was not a singular man that orchestrated all of that stuff. And he wasn't just even working with two or three people like Giselle Maxwell, or his girlfriend. I don't know what her name was, but I'm sure that Giselle was also his girlfriend. But he would have been an agent for some group. Um, and there have been reports of him working for that group. And yeah, I keep on about these people because I just hate them so much.
Do you believe that they're targeting you, that they're like the main? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. I get a
absolutely.
lot of NSA. I do, and MI6, MI5. Yeah. um, oh wow, there's saying every single school teacher should be arrested before we move to 5D. So I don't know how I feel about that question. Well, it's not really a question, it's a statement. Because I think some of them, they're just doing what they're told, aren't they? They're working within a system and it's hard. It's not like they have a choice over what they're teaching, if they want to keep their jobs. So it's
I think that's a really important subject. I think the school system, which the Pleiadians actually kept me out of. I mean, you know that story. There was a block, they put a wall of energy up so that I wouldn't be lost to them, and that's their words. I think the school system is one of the most corrupt systems on earth. I mean, I certainly, if I'd had any children, I wasn't blessed with that, with actually giving birth, although I was pregnant 4 times. Um, I would never, I would, of course, back then I didn't know what I know now, but now I would never send my child to school. And I would, yeah, I would not do that. The school system was set up by one of the Rothschilds, to keep children dumbed down, in tow, in line, to restrict, to inhibit, to mass produce sheep, and these children are not stupid either. Um, and a lot of them hate school, and get bullied by the teachers or by the pupils, one or the other. And I've seen some horrific things lately where, the school teachers are doing more than bullying. Um, so do I think that the school systems are a good thing? Hell no. Not at all. And I think that I think there are good teachers, but I also think that there's more bad teachers than there are good teachers.
So there's a question in the chat. Do you think that teachers know about the three-letter agencies and the GATE program being connected? So that's the Talented and Gifted program. Yeah.
No,
No, they're not aware of what's really going on.
no.
Yeah.
I would say the vast majority of teachers have no idea, as the vast majority of doctors have no idea, that they're not
Yeah. I mean,
educated.
I had my foot surgery last year, didn't I? And then on the x-rays, I identified that there was 2 chips that were in my foot that were not there before the operation. So it was like an opportunity was taken for ETs to implant me while I was in surgery.
Yes.
So were the doctors aware? Probably not. However, we do have university hospitals here. So I believe there's a level of research that goes on that we are not aware of when we're in surgery. Yeah. So,
And
Jerry had, sorry,
also, Julia, the same thing with blood. It
yeah.
came up the other day. I think I was doing a Pleiadian channeling for someone, and it came up that, and they said it in a way that was kind of new to me, but they were saying that they were talking about blood, and they were talking about kind of university hospitals or university standard laboratories where our DNA is being tested, or whether it's for heritage and DNA and ancestry, or whether it's for hospitals taking blood or doctors taking blood and sending it off to laboratories, not knowing what is really going on behind the scenes in those laboratories or blood testing places.
Yeah, so there's a lot of chatter going on. So it's compartmentalization going on there. So we do have one person who would like a personal message. Are you okay to tune in?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So I can't put it on the screen because we're on Zoom, but it's Sil Cola. Is her.
Oh,
Do you know Sil Cola?
yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay. I wondered because she said Carol, so I thought, oh, okay. She has a question. Let me just find it.
Hello.
So, can Soma tell me what starseed family I am from, and if she's seen me abducted as a child in my sleep?
I would say a mixture. I would say definitely Lyran coming through, but also Syrian coming through. Not only were you abducted in your sleep, but you have a deep past life connection to many races. Um, your child is special. Your child is special. You've a connection to Andromeda. I'm seeing purple flowers. I'm trying to pinpoint what type of flowers they are. I'm not sure. But there's some type of flowers around you recently. Um, uh, I don't know if you can, because I'm looking at them, but in the purple, I don't know, because I often see images that, um, it's kind of like remote viewing when I see what is around people and I'm kind of seeing it through their eyes. So I'm looking from your perspective, Psychola. Um, so yeah, Syrian, Lyran, Pleiadian, Arcturian, Andromeda. There's a lot there, but you also have past life in Atlantis and Lemuria, and you have a very strong connection to things like fairies and elves, but the ones that would live under the earth as well. You've a connection to the inner earth, inner earth, which might surprise you. And there's a very fairy-like nature with you. You've got a very deep connection to trees and Mother Earth, and they want you to spend more time in nature. They also want you to be looking at drinking cleaner water, better food, outdoors more if possible. Um, and there's a dog around you, or you have a dog in spirit. I'm seeing an Alsatian or a German Shepherd. I'm not sure if that's the dog. Um, I would come and get a reading with me. I know that we spoke about that before, Psychola. Um, but I think that would I think that would help. And um, doesn't have to be a full hour, you know. There's connections there to Canada or America and also Australia. I'm not sure if that's you or if it's family or, but your guides as well are wanting to connect in more with you. There's a Native American guide. Um, there's some type of Alaskan connection. I'm not sure if that's a guide or past life or family or you've lived there. I'm not sure, but there's some Alaskan connection. Also Canada, also America, also Sweden. Sweden as well is coming in. Not sure why. Um, does she have any more questions, Julia?
Okay, so if you've got any more specific questions, please pop them in the chat. She has written lavender. It's related to what you were saying. She's saying from Poland to New Jersey. She's written. Um, so yeah, put another question in for Soma. She's saying so maybe past lives. Let's see if there's anything else.
I think your past lives are very interesting. Um, I definitely see Canada and America. So I don't know if that is to come. I never really know if it's past, present, or future. I just kind of get the images and the messages. But I'm going to pull some cards for you here, Psychola. I kind of feel like I just want to. You feel to me like you're so inquisitive, and there's so much that you want to know and learn and understand. And I just see a lot of doors. I just see huge doors in front of you opening wide, and they're like giant doors. Um, so there's a lot of information that you're seeking and will be given and rewarded with. Your dreams are very vivid, very colorful, very real. There's a deep connection with you and nature and fairies and elves and all of that. You're very empathic. Um, the first card that fell out here, I didn't even really choose it. It kind of fell out as the Green Man with everything I've said. Often the cards really back up what I've said. Um, yeah, that's really beautiful. So the heart and nature and grounding and fairies and Green Man and trees and spirit and all of that. And music, finding the current blessings, finding your blessings in your current situation. So this is really about being empathic as well. And you're very open, crown chakra there, and music and sound and colors and symbols and the sky and the water and the trees. And I'm even getting that you are well able to do, and you might not be doing it today, but you're well able to do light language. Okay, and this is also, these two cards are very connected. You've got this one here first, and she's kind of just going with the flow there and drifting along the lake by the sound of music. And this card is very much, they're very connected. This one here is detaching from drama, but it's really about being empathic and not allowing drama to soak into your auric field or even your body. Negative emotions cause dis-ease, and it doesn't even have to be your negative emotion, it can be other people's. I do see you very much as a female warrior and a strong female lion energy, which would be Lyran, and finding the balance between life and home. But it's not just life and home, it's the balance between the 3D and the higher dimensions. So it's anchoring in the higher frequencies into the physical 3D earth, physically anchoring in those energies. And I do feel that you've very strong shamanic past lives and guides. And you've also got very strong past lives that were not on Earth. You don't feel very earthly to me. You feel very extraterrestrial, starseed, heavenly, divine, kind of out of this world, energy. Very etheric, very. The word I'm looking for is angelic stroke, ET energy, light worker would be a good word for you.
That's amazing. Okay, so she's saying, yeah, very open-minded. Those were a lot of my dreams: warrior, fighting, protecting family and people, that kind of thing. We do have a donation from Tiffany Marie, whenever you're ready. And she would like to know if she's in the programs, which programs, like space programs or whatever, but also can you tell if there's a similarity between this life and previous lives for Tiffany Marie?
Okay, the first thing is I don't do the programs. Like no, not going there.
You might not have the awareness of the programs, but then so she put in that, looking for similarities between her lives. Could you tell her what, like, when you tell her what country she's connected to, that might give us an idea of programs, and if you could look and see if she's on and off planets, that kind of thing. But just general whatever comes up, I'm sure she'll be happy with.
Well, there's a lot of questions there. The cards are falling out. So I've I've been told that by Veronica Bartolini that I am a super soldier and have been in the programs myself. It's not something that I really am very public with, although I do agree with Veronica. Um, it's not so I back away from that stuff. I have had enough trauma in my
Yeah.
life. I don't need any more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm full on that trajectory. That's what I've been doing for the last year, is unpacking that a lot. When I discovered that I had a sibling in those programs, and we had a genetic DNA match base code, right? So, and we've been sent in separate directions and stuff. So yeah, I approach that kind of stuff. But I appreciate it's not for everybody, and it is a trauma healing journey. So yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, whatever you can get for Tiffany from the cards would be amazing. Thank you.
For Tiffany,
Yeah, Tiffany Marie. Yeah. So similarities between past lives and present.
okay. Wow, Tiffany, you're very powerful. Very powerful. There's a lot of divine, powerful energy within you. Of the four, as I was shuffling, I really want you to get in touch with me. Um, if you can't afford it, I'll give you a free reading. But I really want you to get in touch with me. You've got very powerful cards here. I see you being very public, being very well known, and that might not be right now, but I see that in the future. I see that you are. So I've got these three cards. Well, there's five that fell out, but these three, sometimes they hook in together or join in together. So these three cards, these are people that are very much at the forefront and leading the way. In fact, there's four. There's this one here. So I do see you leading. It's like you're leading, like a public speaker is what I mean. Public, but it's more than that. It's leading from the front. You're leading by um because you're leading because by what is the word? Example. Thank you. And this card here is together, but it's slightly kind of off. So this is more of a warrior type energy, which is more physical, and then this is more of a galactic.
Can you see, is she linked into the temples of Atlantis with the violet flame?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's definitely how we're all connected, I think. Yeah.
yeah. But I do see you working in the field. I do see you being on stage. I do see you being a galactic. I see you being, for some reason, I'm seeing an image of Blossom Goodchild. So perhaps that's about channeling or being well known or just taking care of yourself and doing your work. Because Blossom to me comes a good child comes across to me as someone that is she takes very good care of herself, you know. And I'm not always doing that to the best of my ability, but um so this balancing career, home life, family, work, nurturing yourself. That's why I'm seeing it. Thank you. That's why I'm seeing Blossom Goodchild, because what they're saying is, as you do all this good work and you are on stage and you are doing books and talks and radio and blah, 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 all the public stuff, public figure stuff to do with the disclosure movement and the information you get, you will need to balance your energy. And that's why I'm seeing an image of Blossom Goodchild, because she's very good at that. Although most of her work is online, I think, behind the camera. But yeah, you definitely need all of that. You've got eagle energy working with you. You've got lion energy working with you. You've got past life in Buddhist past life. But yeah, please do come and get a reading with me. You very much embody this type of energy, very strong. In fact, all of these energies you really embody. You've got the three trio there going on: the freedom, female warrior, um, the lion strength, and then you've got the Buddhist peace as well. So you've got you've got you're built for this work. You're built for success in this work. I haven't heard of your name before, and I would love to give you a reading. So please do reach out to me.
So she says she does a lot of channeling. I believe she's on a podcast yesterday, which was a channel panel, and she's very connected to Apollo. So this is really good. She says incredible reading. She's crying, facey, hugs. Yeah, she's going to reach out to you. That's great. So Soma has groups on the weekend. She has her Starseed Academy groups. Apollo, yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, so yeah, she's a very gifted psychic. Great to see Saint Germain coming out there because I've been teaching Violet Flame Reiki and Violet Flame channeling recently. So that's obviously how me and Tiffany are connected with the Saint Germain. She's saying, yes, ma'am, thank you kindly. Are you in Texas, Tiffany Marie? Everyone's in Texas right now. Okay, so if anybody would like to have a personal message from Soma, please do send a donation to support her work. Yeah, it can be, whatever you can afford. That's absolutely fine. Pop your question in the chat. Please, can I have a little reading for me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
So I am writing a book which is about my SSP history and how that blends in with this reality and other versions of me. So any guidance that I can get would be amazing. Thank you. You're tuning into my childlike energy. That's what it is.
Oh, look, Julia, this fell out. That's beautiful. I love this card because it really represents your divine feminine energy. It's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful energy. And it really depicts you very well. And her crown chakra is very open there. Yeah. So, oh, another one. Oh, you got this one as well.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, that's something I wanted to say that, it's the doors are really opening for us this year. Abundance is at the doorstep. We just need to walk towards it and accept. Um, we've really been conditioned to live in poverty. Nurture yourself, Mother Mary. Self-nurture, self-nurture, self-nurture. I know, like me, this is something you've had to work on. And it's not just like um someone said to me once when I was feeling really ungrounded, go drink some water. That wasn't enough for me because for me it's a life mission, being grounded. So it's I need more than just going to drink a sip of a glass of water. And this for me is also a life mission, is to learn to value myself, learn to nurture myself, um, not become, not focus on everyone else so much that I lose sight of myself and my own self-nurturing and health. And, really, we need to take care of ourselves. Clearing and shielding your energy, Julia, that's going to be important for you because you are going to become very public. And I think you've started to realize that lately. Um, and I've just seen you come on in leaps and bounds since we first met, and it's just so beautiful to watch you. It's on this journey of just expansion and opening your wings, and the podcasts and the conferences and the talks and the da 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 da. It's wonderful to see you like really moving forward within the disclosure movement and being public. And I know that you're going down the route of SSP soldier. And that's perfect. It is, yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of healing that has already occurred, but there's more to come. So onward and upward, but you do need to take care of yourself first, because you put your own oxygen mask on first before others, because otherwise
That's the same phrase that I tell people. So the synchronicity there, that's mad. Yeah.
can I do something very bad?
Sure.
Can I have a cigarette on camera?
Yes, yeah, that's fine. That's
Thank
fine.
you.
So it's better than you going out and having a break for 10 minutes, which I did a podcast before, and the guest actually did need to have a break for 10 minutes because of their situation. But then I had to talk randomly for 10 minutes, but it was good. We had fun. And
Don't remember that.
oh, Tiffany Marie is saying, I agree. I'm so happy watching you bloom into learning about your journey. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. And categories. Yeah. Years ago, a couple of years ago, I used to do markets and fairs, and I started to build my mystical wellness business. And there's this lovely lady called Linda, and she said to me, I'm watching you build an empire, is what she said. You're building an empire, and that's always there at the back of my mind, because it's like keep moving forward is my main motto, and I think you said that a couple of times, and that's literally my motto. It comes from a specific movie. Yeah, so that's really cool. Thank you. It's hard though when you're writing a book because you're re dredging up all this trauma and everything, aren't you? Oh my words, I don't know how you wrote your book.
That's what I did. I sat down and I had to go back in my mind, and I had to remember every fucking thing that I wanted to forget. But I had to go back in my mind and remember it in detail, kind of in slow motion. And then as I was remembering it, I would be typing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff I'm disassociated from as well. So when I did read out like a chapter to like people in my little group, one person said, "Oh, it's very, it's not enough emotion. You need more emotion." And I'm like, "Yeah, but that version of me doesn't have any emotions. I've got emotional suppression code. I've literally been shut down to stop my powers from activating with emotion." So yeah, so I'm working on that. It's quite hard.
And also, that's a safety mechanism for you.
Mm.
Definitely,
Yeah.
because imagine feeling all that emotion. Fuck no.
Yeah. Well, I did a session with Christy Campbell, and she's got this new energetic Reiki scan process. And I wasn't really expecting that much, but when she connected in, because I'd heard somebody's name a couple of weeks earlier, I'd started to break down the compartment in my mind for a particular personality. So when Christy scanned in, she connected to that young personality who'd been created through trauma. And then she realized that her version knew my version. So that started her on a healing journey, and us both recalling memory of each other basically in that situation. So yeah, it's been a rough 6 weeks. So there's a lot going on.
That is a lot, Julia.
There's a lot going on. Tiffany says, I love our community. I've never experienced women lifting each other up until I found my soul tribe. That's so true. We do have a great community. Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yeah, we're really lucky. And a lot of us know each other from Atlantis because that's how we connected. We connected on the Typical Skeptic, and you did a reading for me like 18 months ago or whatever. And one of the reasons why I was drawn to you was because you looked familiar. Obviously, there was the soul connection, but you mentioned that my energy was very childlike. And it is very childlike, and not many people would get that just off a random remote reading, unless they were really tapped into my energy. So yeah, but then when we first met and I booked in with you, and I just remember you staring at me.
I do
And
that.
you're just trying to arrange an appointment and you're just staring at me. And it's as if you're like thinking, I know you. How do I know you? And it's really bizarre. And I was like, I've got to go now. And you're like scanning back all of your lifetimes to try and find me, I think.
Yeah, that's
So
probably, yeah,
funny.
exactly what I was doing. I
Yeah.
I read people very well when I stare at them. I'm looking in their eyes. And I remember one person, um, about 7 years ago, I was at a spiritualist church in Portsmouth in the UK, because that's where I was living at the time. And at the end of my road, like a 2 minutes walk, it was fantastic. 2 minutes walk. And I walked in one day and I just started staring at this woman. And she walked past me and she said, "Will you stop doing that? It feels like you're looking into my very soul, and I don't like it." So I said, "I'm very sorry. That's exactly what I was doing because I wanted to acknowledge, that she was correct." And I said, "I'm really sorry. I didn't use the word bad habit, but it's what I do. I am really sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I didn't mean to intrude. But yeah, I've been doing that since I was a child. For me, it was a safety. Like I couldn't trust the men around me were doing very bad things to me. So I learned as a young age, very quickly, very early on, to look into people's eyes, and was seeing a whole load of stuff. So that's what I do. I stare at people.
Yeah, no, it was interesting because for me it was kind of that acknowledgement of okay, Atlantean connections are active, and then I allowed myself to start exploring into who I was in Atlantis, and I had like a couple of random memories. One of them is I'm running through a corridor, and I just know I've done something bad. And when I was at Crystal College and we started to explore Atlantean and Lemuria, stuff in vision questing, and then yeah, there was a man involved. I'm pretty sure there was a man, right? And it was right towards the downfall of Atlantis, and I'd given away some kind of secret, some energy, some power, something like that. So the other memory I have is I see myself
It
sitting
wasn't
in a room.
Dennis, was it?
Oh, I'd hope not.
Oh,
Don't say that.
that's
Was
the
he in,
naughtiness in me coming out.
was he in the Sons of Belial, Dennis? Was he in the military style faction, or was he a temple priest? Look at your face right now. Was he really?
I've no doubt he was in Atlantis. I'm not sure who he was.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you know how I feel about Dennis sometimes. It's just Irish men. They wind me up. But I can say that because my brother-in-law's Irish, you see, and he's been winding me up for 40 years. So,
he's
so
from
it's no
Julia.
offense
Is
to
he
Dennis.
Dublin?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. He's a Dublin dope. So yeah, Irish men wind me up. So I'm hoping to get my Irish passport next year. My
Oh,
sister Susanna, she's going through the process of registering her birth on the register. It takes ages, it costs loads of money, and then you can get your Irish passport. So that'll be good because you've got yours, haven't you? Have you
I've
got
got
yours?
I have a British passport.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you had your Irish passport.
Well,
Okay.
I'm allowed to have one, but I just have never bothered to apply for it because I hate those legal paperwork bullshit
Mm.
things.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were a small child living in South Africa and Namibia?
Yeah,
What was it like over there?
hot.
How old were you when you were out there?
I think we left in 79, which doesn't match my memories. Because that means if we left when I was in 79, I would have been 5 when we left. Um, but I remember leaving, and some of the stories in my book, which are just horrendous, but I remember looking down on my shoulders and I had all these bite marks and bruises and yeah. And my mum took me to the doctor, or she had to take me to the doctor before they let me fly. I had to get some type of injections or something. And she took me into this doctor's room, and I never forget his actually I did forget for many years until I began to do the shamanic with Paul O'Halloran in Galway, who, funny enough, Miles just interviewed him, but he was my shamanic teacher in Ireland, and during his courses, I began to have these memories coming back. Actually, excuse me, it was before that. Was that 2004? I had those memories come back. But yeah, I remember going from the extreme hot to the extreme cold, and I remember looking at my mum, and it was looking back, it's very funny, but I was looking at her thinking, what the fuck are we doing here? Because it was freezing, it was snowing, and I was like up to my waist in snow, and I was freezing. And I was just thinking, this is a shithole. What are we doing here? Let's go back home.
That's really funny because I've made, when I was at Bases in December, at that conference, I connected with another person, an English super soldier who knows me, right? And he kept coming up to me and just dropping like information and walking away. It was really random. And I got this memory of him. I got two memories. First one, we were in a base in Manchester. I just knew it was Manchester. We were both children. The second one, we were working in South Africa. We were South African mercenaries working for Kruger. Yeah. So yeah, so I've got two memories of being a South African super soldier. Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
And he knew, he said my name was Watts, and he could describe what I looked like and how I had my hair and everything. So I knew it was me. So yeah, and I remembered him, and it was very, very odd. So he's probably going to be at Bases in June, I think, but it's very
What's
unusual.
his name, Julia?
Well, I don't have his true name, but he goes by the name David Hall. I don't think that's his actual name. I think that's just his,
That
his
rings a
cover.
bell.
Does it?
Yeah, why do I know that name? Hall.
Yeah.
I know that name. Why do
Okay, I don't know. Maybe he's reached out or been in a group. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
But he was supporting the Bases conference, like with the setup and everything. So he might be there. He saw my Bases interview more than 6 months ago. Reached out to me, but at the time I was going through something really dark, and so I didn't have capacity to talk to him at all. So I kind of referred him off to a friend. I didn't realize he had a personal connection and knew me until I got to Bases in December. And then he just kept walking up to me, and I was talking to somebody about Mars, and he's going, "Yeah, you were on Mars. I remember you." And he'd walk away, and I was like, "What? What's going on?" So in the end, we did sit down, and I tried to coach him a little bit so that he could get like clarity about what his next steps were. But I said to him, I remembered seeing him in a briefing room, and I was either trying to give a briefing or someone else, and I'm standing there, and he was like this super soldier who was just so arrogant, so like, you know what I mean, like just so against everything. We were literally Kruger mercenaries. So that's the weird memory that I have. So at the moment, because I'm writing my book, that's not going to be in it, but I'm looking into the connection between the Commonwealth, right, as a organization for super soldier programs, because it looks like I was transferred around Commonwealth countries, right? So I went from UK to Australia, New Zealand, to India, to Thailand, Malaysia, and I know I grew up in Canada in the programs and things like that, and these are all Commonwealth countries that I was traded through. Yeah, so that's something I'm looking into at the moment. It's quite dangerous, because it ties into some darker aspects in Australia. So, so that's something that I'm investigating, and I'm going to be doing
What
a
about
talk.
Canada?
Yeah, Canada, I know. I grew up in Canada basically because the Monarch Dome was there. So I was taken from here, through portals into a time displaced bubble in the Monarch Dome in Canada, which is in Toronto. So there's a version of me. This physical version of me was there, plus along other clone versions of me. So I had my consciousness in. So I know I'm connected to Canada in a deep way. Plus, my mum's dad was a Canadian soldier, so I literally do have Canadian lineage. But yeah, but my SSP brother is American, but we grew up together basically in that Canadian Dome, which is so big that it spans into America. That's how big it is. But it's a lot of Canadians and people from all over the world go there for training, in that Monarch Dome. Tiffany's saying I need to connect with that David, the UK David, and tell us all about it. Well, it was a bit kind of, he did support me actually. When on the Friday at the conference, Drago Reed was doing his talk, and because his words are activating like mine, my energetic field started to upgrade. And as Drago was talking about Kruger mercenaries and all that, I was getting like, what, like overwhelming energies coming in. And this poor guy, David, was sitting right behind me in my solar plexus chakra. So he was feeling everything that I was feeling. So when I got up and I'm like pacing and I'm crying and all this, as my energy's totally rebuilding itself off Drago Reed's command, syntax in his voice and all that. And then David did
that.
Pardon?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. And then, but David did try and support me. But at the time, I didn't realize that me and him had like a past life sibling connection, and that we'd also been in these programs in South Africa. So when I say it's like I just keep collecting brothers. I've got, a brother. I met another super soldier who is a Lyran brother from ancient times. Then I've got Drago, who's like a real world now kind of brother. We've been separated in programs. And I've got this other David, who's like a past life brother. I just don't know. I've not collected any sisters yet, except maybe you. I don't know. Anyway, so we've been going for an hour. So if you wanted to finish, that's okay. But if you want to continue, let me know. Yeah, and see. I don't believe we've had any more donations. But if anyone's got any questions for Soma about her life or what's going on in the world, please pop them in the chat. But let me know if you want to carry on or if you want to finish.
Happy to carry on, Julia.
Awesome. Yep. So if you've got any questions for Soma, please pop them in the chat.
I think the whole, like, a lot of there's stuff I don't like to share publicly very often. And some of that stuff is, I believe my mum was involved in unwillingly in some of the Montauk projects. I believe that that there was stuff going on when I was younger, energies going on. I had a dream when I was very young, about 8, of this glass building. I told you, I think, about it before, and it was a very real dream. I've been leaving my body since I was a child, mostly due to trauma, but it's become something became very adept at. Anyway, when I was 8, I had this real dream, and I was in this glass building, and I'll never forget it. Like, I can still see it clear as day. The whole building was glass, internally, externally, everything. And except it had like white tiles on the floor or something like that. And it was very well lit. And there was a big stairwell in the center of the building. And kind of in the center of the building, or in the center. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was watching a movie with Daniel Craig, and I saw the building. And it was the MI5 building in London. So I was involved in a lot of stuff that I wasn't aware of when I was younger. And I remember there was an MP, there was a politician that came to the school. He came to the secondary school that I should have attended. And I was there one day. And he just happened to turn up, and he was a politician. And he spoke to the headmistress, Jill Becker. And he told her he wanted to speak to me. So she came and got me, and she said, there's someone who very important that wants to speak to you. So I was like, oh, okay. So I've never been into names and labels and who's who and suits and big wigs and fat cats and all of that stuff. I can't stand it, actually. I'd rather go and speak to a homeless person. But so I went in. I didn't have much of a choice. I had to go in and speak to him. I was ushered in, I was pulled in to speak to him. And I remember thinking, why is he wanting to talk to me? And I think I must have been 12 at the time, because I was at the older school. And he was asking me questions. But it was very unusual because he was a politician, So I mean, I still like he must have been involved in nefarious agencies and stuff like that, because there's no way that he would have wanted to talk to me unless he knew who I was. And at the time, I had no idea who I was. I just knew that I was having a lot of foundational spiritual experiences. I didn't know that's what they were at the time. I was just experiencing them. A lot of out of body and the Pleiadians and blah, 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 blah. Um, but looking back, there was a lot of stuff in my childhood that was very questionable. Uh, and there was people that came over from America to my primary school, and we met them, and we were taken aside in small groups, and we got to talk to them, and they got to talk to us and ask us questions, and stuff like that. That is just very questionable.
And
Of
the
course,
hearing test. Do you remember the hearing test?
I think I do remember that. Yeah, and the ice
Yeah.
test and the swim.
Yeah, so when they do the hearing test, they're looking for alters, minds that have been fractured, to see if you're suitable for the programs. Yeah, and that's happens all over the world. In America, they call it the tag or the gate, talented and gifted program. I'm not sure what they call it here. But I do remember that hearing test. I remember feeling like I'd done really well at something, which I didn't get praise as a child. So for me, getting praise was like, wow, I remember that. Do you know what I mean? So it's mad. Yeah.
What about your mum? Is your mum still here?
No, both my parents passed away. My mum died when I was like 20.
That's
She
very
died of
young.
cancer. I wasn't close to my parents at all.
Okay.
Yeah, I did not have like a connection to them at all. So yeah. So,
And there's probably things there with your mum as well that
mm.
she would have been involved in, probably against her will. I know my family, my mum's first husband, Peter Noonan, he was in the Navy or military. And I know that my own dad was German. I found out in 2019 because I did a blood DNA thing. And I found out he was German. And he was also a Nazi, I'm no doubt. And he would have also been military, um, some type of spy or something. So there would have been that military background in my family, and I think they capture a lot of military and their families and use them on experiments, which are very nefarious. There was all those military tests done back in America in the 70s, I think, with LSD and all kinds of stuff, and even more than that, worse than that. There was all kinds of experiments done. And then, of course, there's going into Area 51 and all of that stuff. And there's a lot of it seems to have been done in secret in America, but not just America. I mean, it's international. It's not just America that's doing or has done all of these experiments and agencies. It's worldwide, international.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there. There was a really good question that Q17 tried to ask on the last podcast, but I don't think I've got time for it. And it was about is that the one I'm thinking of? Okay, so which ETs are going to be the first on the planet for us to literally just be in general population with, so we can have a drink with them in the pub?
Which ones are going to be the first?
Yeah. So I'm not sure who asked that question originally, but it's a good question. So, which ETs are going to be around us, working with us in, the supermarket, or yeah,
I think that's already happening.
I agree. I agree.
I have met some people. Wait, very interesting that you should say that about the supermarket. But I remember years ago I was working in Tesco in Bristol when I was doing my holistic diploma, and that would have been 2000, I think, the year 2000. And I remember meeting someone who was beautiful soul, very different to the vast majority of people on planet Earth back then and now. And I've had experiences. I had one experience, for example, on the bus, and another when I was on the train, and we were talking telepathically and very obviously telepathically. And I don't think they were human beings at all. I think they were Pleiadian. And so the Pleiadians are, they do live amongst us. They do fit in. And I think that's already happening. Um, yeah, that's a whole other subject. But yeah, do who's put that question, please
Yeah,
come
it
and
was
get in touch.
Q17. I can't remember.
I think it
Let me
was
know if I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was another question which may have been from that. No, I think it's the next question was from Will. You don't know yet, but you will is their tag, and I just called them Will. So, and it was what energies are kind of holding us back on the planet? Is that the right question? Let me find it. It was something like that.
Fear. Fear
Fear.
is
Yeah.
a big one. And fear, war, famine, food shortages, water shortages, petrol prices, not being able to afford rent, war, famine, weather, chemtrails, all of the negative stuff that nefarious agendas that they do to us,
Mm.
um, brings fear to most normal people. And we have to move beyond that. We have to let go of the fear. The fear is the biggest thing on the earth on planet Earth at the moment.
Can I tell you about my dream from last night?
Yes,
Okay, so so I don't remember much about it, but I'm standing there and there's like somebody famous and it's a man, and there's a couple of other people and they want to
is it
take
Miles
photos.
Johnson?
No, and but they want to take pictures of him, and he's coming up to me and he's saying, "Can I take your ayahuasca? Can I wear this in the photo? I want to wear this in the photo." So I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, here, take it, wear it in the photo." I know. This occurred to me about an
Oh,
hour ago, and I thought, why did I take it off? But I said, do you want this other one? And around my neck, there was what looked like a metal goddess, right, on my heart. And he's like, no, no, I don't want that one. I want the ayahuasca. So the metal goddess energy was protecting me while I took off the ayahuasca to give to this person twice.
never give your medicine away.
I know.
Anyone ever. Go on, Julia.
So
Sorry.
I think it was a trap. I think they got me in a trap again, right? So I
They
don't know what
do
was
that a
happening.
lot.
But there was something else around my neck, and when I looked down, it was like a metal goddess pendant, like a talisman was placed on me that I didn't recognize. But now I need to go out and find it because obviously I'm meant to have it. So luckily, I think my guides or myself placed something else there, so I could take off the ayahuasca, which is like my earth protection. Um, to yeah, I
Yes,
don't know
yes,
why
yes,
these things
yes,
happen.
yes.
Yeah.
Also, have a look at Egypt to do with the silver goddess.
Ah.
I'm seeing pyramids as
Okay.
you're talking. Egypt pyramids, the Sphinx, Egypt hieroglyphics, silver goddess, Isis.
ISIS. Well, I was absolutely gutted recently because I have a box of crystal goddess carvings, and the box dropped on the floor, and all but one of the crystal goddess were broken. All but one. I was mortified because I use them in my retreats, you see, or I use them for like really
That is to
nurturing
do
crystal
with the
healing.
dream. That is to do with the dream. That
Yeah,
I feel that he was very negative. I feel like he was trying to take your medicine, your power, and I feel that he was somehow involved in the breaking of those goddesses because they would have been protective. It's
yeah,
interesting that the one didn't break and you were given a silver goddess
mm.
with one silver goddess and one didn't break. So that there's a connection there.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. If anyone's got any weird dreams that they would like Soma to translate, please pop them in the chat. Because every time I tell you about my dreams, you just sit there shaking your head. And I'm like, I've done it again. I've given away my power again. I've accepted something from some dark forces again.
Oh, sure. Look, Julia, I've done it and
Yeah,
numerous times,
yeah. T-
Um,
Tiffany is saying, "Oh, Mama Soma, my mind is being blown right now." She's saying she's going to come on your groups on the weekend.
who's
Uh,
that?
yeah, Tiffany Marie.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I don't remember a lot of my dreams, so there was a good question from one of my groups this morning when people said, how do you time travel in the astral?" So when you go into your dream state, how do you time travel? So we were all just generally talking about being in the 0 point field, and setting intentions and whatever. But do you have any information to share about time travel?
Nope.
Do that, everybody. What do the Palladians say about time travel? Do they think it's real?
Yeah, they're from the future.
Mm.
We are them in the future. So, and they are us from the past. So they are us in the future, literally us in the future. I've also seen myself on board ship while I've been channeling, and I was in this, I think it was like on a table or a chamber or something, so that I know I'm also up there. And I'm not the only one. There's thousands of us, on board ship. So we are on different timelines, different realities. The Pleiadians are us from the future, literally. Um, just in a different time period. We are them, but they're in the future. So with timelines, and I know I kind of made a joke of it saying nope just now, but with timelines, I think if you're interested in that, I think it would be good for whoever said that to learn to remote view. And I would start learning with the Farsight Institute. They're very good. I don't always agree with all of the things that they share or say, but I do find them very good.
Yeah, I mean, I did remote view training with Felix Hyde in the UK. He's got remote view teams. And then I did courses with Indigo
It's
Angel.
you.
Pardon?
It's you.
What? What do
That's
you
been
mean?
turning up.
No, it wasn't me. It might have been. I don't know. Had a few weird experiences that I'm trying to write in my book now, and where I split my consciousness and piloted somebody else's body. Yeah, that's like a weird one, realizing that's what actually happened. So it could have just been I piloted a clone because that's something I definitely can do.
Let
But
me
yeah,
add let me add something to that, Julia. So
yeah,
what's interesting is the connection between that and mediumship or trans mediumship, where the spirit comes through the medium's body. There's a similarity there between what you're saying and the spirit coming through the medium's body.
I just want to
Go
ask
on.
this weird random question before it goes in the chat. You don't know yet, but you will, is the handle. So Will is asking, do aliens cuddle?
Oh, of course, I would say yes, they do. The ones that I channel and are connected to
Yeah.
um are of such a high loving frequency. I'm sure they do.
Okay. And then they also asked before, do people who are Palladians on the planet know that they are Palladians? Well, not everybody realizes their divinity, do they? So,
No,
no.
yeah,
Okay.
I would say the vast majority of them don't.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I
So
mean,
there's a dream from Tiffany Marie for you to interpret. Okay. She says, I had a constant dream as a child where I'm running through a dark tunnel following a little white and brown dog. There was a light at the end of the tunnel.
did you go through the tunnel to the end?
Let us know, Tiffany. Hmm.
That would be more of the tunnel of light, you know. Um,
So, did it feel positive and did she go through the tunnel?
yeah, it feels positive to me.
Yeah. Let's see if she starts watching. Um, we will have to wait and see. So yeah, I don't generally remember my dreams. I have no idea. Oh, she's saying, Tiffany says, I never made it to the light, but I was very close. So running through a dark tunnel. So she's in the tunnel. She never made it out the end.
That's interesting. That's really interesting. I think it's that, that's the tunnel of light and um
Do you think she was I was gonna, because with all the programs, I've had visions of tunnels linked to the space programs, where tunnels monitoring, the tunnels, being in the tunnels. There's a lot of tunnels, right? There's a lot of weird shit going on. But this was a dream, so it's following the little white and brown dog. So the dog, um, is protective. Yeah. Do you think the dog might have been her power animal?
it feels like the dog. It feels like with what you've just said about,
Hmm.
the nefarious stuff,
Yeah.
it feels like it could have been either a positive thing or a negative thing where they were trying to lead her into a certain pathway where they could use her.
Yeah.
Um,
She
but
says it felt like I was running away from something, like I was running home.
okay. Well, I think it was a good experience. I think the dog was, I think you knew the dog, either in this lifetime as a dog or in a previous one, but I think you knew the dog. And I think the dog was, he looks to me like he was quite small. I think you said that. Like a Yorkshire Terrier or that type
Yeah.
of kind
Yeah, I
of,
get that too.
yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Oh, okay.
I'm going to ask something that might surprise you.
Oh dear. Go on.
Can I get a mini reading?
Oh, sure.
Thank
Um,
you.
Now, at the moment, I'm working with Japanese spirits in a yokai deck. So if you're brave enough to have a message from a Japanese spirit that could be a god, a monster, a ghost, or something random and weird, then there's that deck. Or you could just have an akashic or a
Yeah,
crystal
I don't
read.
want that one.
Okay, it's honestly very funny. We're all loving it. We're all loving it. This is the yokai deck. We are loving it because there's Japanese proverbs in it, and I have to read it out in Japanese. It's really funny.
Yeah, but I don't want
Okay.
no monsters. I don't want readings from monsters.
Oh no, but they're very good.
I'm trying.
They're all actually very good. But it's just
I'm trying
Japanese
to get
folklore.
away from those, Julia.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize. Okay, so I'm going to do an Akashic mini reading for Soma, tuning into the elemental energies to see what energies are supporting you right now. Let's see.
Can you do more of a premonition? Like what's coming up for me?
Oh, I don't do premonitions. I'm not that
Okay.
kind of psychic. Let me see what comes up in the cards.
Okay.
You don't know yet, but you will know that they got the giant blob monster that smells and the poverty goes. Now, the giant blob monster from
What?
Japanese
Slow down,
folklore.
Julia. You're talking too fast.
Okay, the Japanese giant blob monster is actually one of the most prosperous cards in the whole deck because it represents immortality. If you can get past how dirty and smelly the blob looks to eat them, then you will have immortality. I think it was. So it's just absolutely hilarious what we're learning from these Japanese monsters. Okay, I'm just going to tune into your elemental energies to see what's going on, and then we'll see if there's anything that comes forward. Do you have a particular event or anything coming up that you'd like to query? Yes, you do. Tell me.
Well, um I have a stream of events that
You are moving into the most prosperous time of your life. This is the most prosperous card pull I think I've ever done. It really is. It
really
really, really is. Right? Okay.
you're not just saying that.
No, no. Wait till you see this. Okay, let me just tell you what I've got in the cards here. So your grounded energy, the earth energy that's around you, your grounded focus is inner authority. Okay, so you are becoming the
You
best version of
disappeared
yourself.
completely then
Yes,
into
sorry.
the
It's
flowers.
because I've got a background on. Yeah, so inner authority. So you're becoming the most powerful version of yourself. Not only are you grounded, but you're stepping into the golden energy of your solar plexus. That lion energy is coming out. So you can really voice, it's the raw that I'm looking at. You can really voice what you need. Yeah, you can be heard now. This is your grounded energy right now. This is who you are right now. Okay, you're stepping into your sovereignty in a very strong way. The air energy around you, the words you think and say, what you should be listening to, is absolute freaking gold. It's money alchemy. So your voice, your mind is very profitable, very supported. I'm drawn to the key. I'm drawn to
The king or the key?
key. There's a key here. I'm drawn to this. I'm not sure what this is, but it's like a grid of some kind, which has got symbols on it. I'm
Can you
really
hold
drawn
it
to
up to the
this.
camera?
Not really, because I'm going to disappear into the thing. Sorry, I've got a background on because I wasn't expecting to do cards. So, but I'll send you photos afterwards.
Okay.
So whatever this is, there's some kind of structure to it. There's some kind of path that you're laying out. It's a plan. There's some kind of plan for you. This is all linked into your voice, into your communication center, for what's on your mind. So there's memories involved here because it's trying to activate my memory vault. So there's old information that you're utilizing as you move forward. That's going to be very prosperous for you. You're transforming into divine strategy. So anything that's been affecting you in the past that wasn't working is burning away. You're now moving on to your most divine plan. Your highest timeline is unfolding before you and it's anchoring into place. Okay, so this is divine strategy. I'm really drawn to the candle. So we're still in the transformation phase. So it's coming in with fire energy anyway. I'm drawn to the amethyst light on her bracelet. So we're working with the violet flame right now as well, working with the many flames. Let me just check what flames are coming forward for you. Please can I have the most appropriate ray for Soma right now? Okay. Oh, we got a message. It's the flame of justice, the 33rd ray, the ray of protection with Archangel Michael. It's an electric blue ray, and the symbol to represent it is the sword. So you are on the flame of justice. Now, I tuned into Flame of Justice, and it integrated with my violet flame in around June or so last year. So my natural violet flame has now got a blue streak through the center of justice. Right. So, and I had an issue with people in January where there was a group of people trying to say I'd said something that I hadn't said, and it kind of upset me because it affected somebody I cared about. And so I spelled my name so that anybody who said my name would receive a massive violet flame, justice flame download to purify their person. Right.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So leaving them in truth. Right. So yeah, so there are some people who can't spell my name right because they can't say my name without receiving the violet flame with justice attached. So obviously that's all in truth. So I'm going to read a message from Archangel Michael. It says, I am Michael, bearer of the sword of justice, guardian of the ray of protection and the flame of justice. There are many things that can be achieved by one who seeks to work with me. Protection. For thousands of years, mankind has understood my role as protector, serving mankind on behalf of the divine. An individual may request support at any time with protection to seek justice, to bring courage and positive transformation. I may also assist with the clearing of unnecessary energies or entities that have entered the space of the individual. So the flame of justice is what's coming in on your strategy, your divine plan. That's what you're working with right now. So it's not just the violet flame, you're working with the blue electric flame of justice. And the sword of Archangel Michael is at your disposal. And you can take that out of your heart chakra or off your back whenever you need it. Okay. So as we move into the water energies surrounding you, this is really good. So this is all about emotions, but it's also about how easy your pathway is. Your pathway is grounded in fun and joy. Right? So whatever you're doing next, it's fun, it's joyful, it's easy, it's bright, it's vibrant. Yeah, and because we've got the water and the air energies opposite each other, the more fun you have, the more money you make. The more fun you have, the more prosperous, your energy becomes for you to share that with your community. So everybody wins, everybody benefits when you have more fun, more joy, more ease, more laughter in your life, right? So this is how I also work. So I'm a certified laughter yoga leader. So I try and laugh as much as I can because it raises the vibration, right? And it heals us through laughter. Now, when I bring together the earth, air, fire, and water, you become the storm. So this is who you are in the next 6 months. And it's prosperity mindset. It's you sitting by a waterfall. just reaping in all the light codes, the resources you need. It's all flowing with ease. It's fresh energy. Number 29, so you've got that 11 energy, that 1-1, that number 2. So you're working with others and you're sharing this prosperity mindset. So this really is one of the best readings I've done in a really long time.
Well, thank you.
So well done. This is great. So whatever these new projects are, they're going to be prosperous, but they've got to be grounded in fun and joy. If they're not, it's not for you. Okay, so have a look at the opportunities, and assert yourself. Yeah, assert yourself. Use your words and know that what you're transforming through right now is divinely guided to make its way out of your life, because fresh energy is coming in. So you are on the flame of justice. So you brought in Lady Nada before, but for you, it's more Lady Portia. Lady Portia comes in with justice and karma. Yeah.
Okay.
And Archangel Michael stepping in now to say, you can have my sword, you can have my cloak. Electric blue energy is yours. Yeah, on that 33rd ray. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? No. That's it. So yeah, so I hope that makes sense. But yeah, this looks really great. So whatever's coming up, yeah, just ask the question, is this fun? Is this for me? Is this fun? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we're on 11 p.m. Did you want to finish up? We've got 12 people watching in the chat.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I was doing a Zoom earlier. I was doing my Friday group, and I really noticed how my voice changes, like when I'm channeling and when I'm not channeling. And sometimes it's not noticeable at all. And sometimes it's really noticeable, like
I always notice it.
Do you?
Yeah, every time.
Yeah.
And the way you move your mouth changes as well.
Yeah, when I'm channeling, my mouth gets, I don't know what side it is, but it gets really distorted.
Yeah, to that side, yeah.
The
whole, like, the sound changes totally, the resonance changes. Trying to say, there's a message from Will saying, what creative? I'm not sure what that means. What are you trying to say, Will? Let us know. But yeah, this new Friday group, tell us about it, because I saw that popped up, or I'm not familiar with that group.
Well, so I wrote back in 2019, 2020, I co-wrote this book with the Pleadians. It's a very short book, and it's called What's Really Going On? The COVID pandemic, plague, bullshit.
It got banned, didn't it? The book got banned.
It did, instantly, within like 10 minutes or something. It got banned on Amazon. They wouldn't publish it. So I published it on my website, and it's something like €3.77. And there's a lot of health stuff in there, which is probably why Amazon banned it. They called it "What's Really Going On?" ? So I was told to do some workshops on what's really going on now. And the first one I did was a couple of weeks ago on a Friday 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. And it was on Jeffrey Epstein. And the one I did tonight was about ascension and star seeds and the time that we're in now. So that is that's one of the evenings I do. I also have my Saturday and Sunday groups, and also Wednesday group. The Saturday and Sunday is free. The Friday and Wednesday is paid, but I'm just in process of changing the fee, because it was €15 for the Friday evening, but I'm now changing it to when you subscribe to Substack for the month for €7, you will get that. You can attend that for free. So it's great value. And also the Wednesday is the same. If you sign up to my Substack, it's also €7. So if you pay for one, you get the other one free. And the Saturday and Sunday groups. where you not only just get them sent to you, but the Saturday and Sunday groups, you can come and be part of the live channelings that I do.
Yeah, I do the same with my Substack. Anyone that does the paid membership, they get access to the Zoom link. So I send out the newsletter on the day. But yeah, your Saturday and Sunday groups are great for meeting soul family. So I've met quite a few people that I kind of resonated with, at the time. It's usually an interesting mix of people. It's great to see you channeling and yeah, getting those messages through. Entertainment Extreme Network is in the chat. Hey, Armando, and he's saying they did CE5. Have you done any CE5? Calling in, connecting to the ships?
I do it personally. I am also planning in process of co-hosting one with Christy Clark, who comes to the groups. He channels Ranturas. Um, so I'm looking at doing. Me and Christy are going to be doing one in hopefully Dublin, and this year, or in Cork this year, or perhaps even both places. But we're going to do a Skywatch where we're working not with CE5, but we're just going in to do channeling sessions, and in the evening we're going to do a Skywatch and call them in. So we're planning to do that in Cork this
Yeah,
year.
that sounds good. So there's a question about how do artists not starve? How do they choose what art to make money with? I mean, this is a question that we all struggle with, to be rewarded for the time, energy, and effort that we spend supporting our community. It's really tricky, isn't it? So if you're an artist right now, is there a particular type of SAS? What do they currently do? All of the arts: writing, music, acting, painting, drawing, therapy, divination, singing, composing. Got ADHD and no job. So is there, I mean, would the Pleadians suggest that we focus on something specific right now, or?
It's really it you know, I have struggled tremendously in the past to the point of being homeless, while I was still channeling. It's a very difficult, when you're on your mission, you really have to, there's a lot of aspects that you need to do. And I'm still learning and still on my journey and still moving forward and moving forward and moving forward. But it's about, there's many aspects. So it's about stepping into your own power. It's about being grounded. It's about being focused. It's about having time, focus, energy, determination, motivation, independence, a strong backbone of I will not back down. Moving forward, it's collaboration, it's having fun with it, it's um often giving away things for free. There's so many different aspects. I don't know where to start with that. I would recommend watching Tony Robbins, and also Jerry and Esther Hicks. I'd recommend watching those. And stepping into your power, it's really about finding your voice and stepping into your truth and your mission. And often, the vast majority of people who are doing what they're meant to be doing in the early days really struggle. And those early days can last a long time. They can last like 10 years. I've seen artists in Hollywood or uh, similar kind of culture, elites. I saw what's his name? There was an artist in the UK years ago that cut a cow in half and was famous worldwide. I forget his name. And there have been other similar artists that have use blood instead of red paint, that are enormously famous. There's even a picture
This
that
doesn't
is,
sound good. This sounds like regressive stuff, doesn't it? Like that's why they're famous, because they're doing some kind of ritual, some kind of offering. That's not good.
it's not,
That's
it's
not
not,
light.
yeah, yeah. No, none of that. it's the elites, isn't it? It's, that they earn millions for cutting a cow in half. Or I saw a picture recently that was on sale for millions of pounds in, I think, what's that famous art place in London? Um, the auctioneers. And it was a blank canvas. There was nothing on it.
That sounds like money laundering. So that sounds like, yes.
Yeah.
What do you think about excuse me, some of these larger channels at the moment within the ET and disclosure and channeling communities? Do you think that they are speaking their truth, or do you think there's a little bit of distortion? Because I've started to notice distortion waves. So there's some people I can listen to, and some people I just cannot listen to anymore. How do you feel about that?
I think that it's all about a learning experience. And I understand what you're saying. I resonate with what you're saying. There are people that I know that I used to love that I won't listen to anymore, um, for one reason or another, like Deepak Chopra and also the Dalai Lama. I will not go near him now. Whereas before I met him and I was on my knees in a that sounds a bit but I was in a room with a lot of people when we met him, and I was on my knees in reverence, in prayer to who I thought he was. But I think that as we evolve, Julia, we resonate with different people because we are needing to experience and absorb different energies at different times. Once we've learned something, we fall away from them because we've learned whatever it is that we needed to learn, and we move on to the next thing or person or experience to learn something new because we're evolving all the time. So I think it's okay when we um when we start listening to new people. And we should acknowledge that we've grown from that. I think that um there are channelers that I have heard others talk negative about, and I won't say their
Mm.
names, but those channelers I actually do resonate with. So perhaps for me, there's something I need to learn from them. Um, and there are also other channelers that I would really question. Of course, there's also other people in the full disclosure movement that I would also question. I won't name names, but a lot of people have questions about them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I go with the idea these days that people come in for a season or a reason. Yeah, so sometimes people are just with you for a couple of months and then they go. And other people come in for like a healing journey. Jerry's thing is at Lloyd's London. I'm thinking Weatherby's. I don't know if that's the.
I think it's Weatherby's.
Okay. Maybe auction artwork, I don't know. And something like that. So, yeah, so I
Sotheby's,
agree.
Sotheby's.
Sotheby's, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, so who I follow changes, but because I moderate on like 6 different podcasts and they have different guests coming and going, sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, this is really exciting, and other times I'll just be in the background thinking, no, I'm not really feeling it. It's not for me. But that's okay, isn't it? It's individual journeys. Everybody will like. There was a time when I enjoyed listening to Bashar, right? I enjoyed listening to Bashar, on early days. And then now I don't listen to Bashar. It doesn't come up on my feed anymore. I'm not on that resonance, and that's just what it is. So you'll notice that when you go on social media, especially Instagram and Facebook, they'll throw things at you that they think is your resonance now because it's all telepathic, it's all tuned into you. Yeah. Jeremy's saying maybe it's about insurance. Yeah. So who knows what the regressives are doing with all these artworks that cost $1 million, and I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
I think you're right. I think there was rumors of it being money laundering.
Yeah, there's so much dark stuff now that's in everybody's awareness, but people are still moving into ignorance. They're choosing to ignore it. they're still choosing ignorance. What's
Because they
that
can't handle it, Julia. They can't, their systems, their minds, their bodies, their energy, their mentality,
about?
their thoughts, their emotions, they're not able to dive deep. They're shallow swimmers.
Yeah. And they don't want things to change, I think. They're comfortable. Yeah. And they worry a lot about change. Jerry's saying, oh no, Will is saying, do you guys vibe with Cryon magnetic service?
I
That's
absolutely
yeah.
love Cryon.
I'm not that
Love it.
familiar. But yeah, I'm
Oh,
aware.
it's amazing. It's Lee Carroll. And I was in Ireland when I first discovered him way back, way back, like 2009, I think it was. And yeah, amazing. He has been consistent in my life since 2009. And yeah, lovely Carol. Um, yeah, I think he's a real solid channel. And I read his book, Indigo Child, and I think he's one of the most solid channelers that there is. I think some of the channelers have come and gone. Um, and I know that I am going to um, be more public in the future. Um, um, yeah, love Cryon, love Cryon. And he always puts me into, especially in the past, I've really used him to um, open some of my own connections. He's very uplifting. I love Cryon. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're saying that he got me super into base 12 sacred math stuff. So yeah, I'm not familiar with that, but that's kind of cool. I really like it. And I was at an event recently, and somebody was asking me about increasing your awareness and meditation. And I said, well, I listened to Steve Noble from the Soul Matrix. And it really helps because it's all quantum activation. And they said, oh, no, not him. I can't. And they went off on one. I thought, well, that's interesting. It's just not on the wavelength. But I listen to that every day, basically. I listen to something, and that kind of is a foundation, and I zone out, and then I go into the 0 point and I do my own thing. But so not everybody likes the same things, do they? Their minds work very differently. Yeah, that's so cool. So I'm going to finish up in a minute, only because I've not eaten, and I've got another podcast in 3 hours.
My goodness,
My
Julia, do you
third
have sleep?
podcast of the day. Well, I slept in the afternoon to get ready for 3 shows back to back. So, but I've not eaten. And my son, at one point you saw me dart away. My son burnt his dinner in the oven. I was going to look at that. What's that smell? Like it was he burned his food. So he'll have gone to bed now.
Bless him. How old did he eat? And how old is he
He's
now?
16. So I put in the oven so like chicken strips and then fries. So he burnt the fries to a
Oh,
crisp. He's eating the chicken strips, so but he has like a massive pizza when he gets home from school a couple of hours earlier. So he'll eat the pizza and then he has a bit of a supper. So that's how he does it, and because he likes what he likes, he's a gamer, so I just give him whatever he likes. But yeah, so I'm sitting here listening to you talking, thinking, what's that smell? The house is burning down.
there's
Yeah, so
Julia on the podcast with
I literally just disappeared for a second, like Brax. Yeah. So I'm gonna
Have
go
you seen those Barbie Chronicles?
to
Oh, well, you have to look at them. They're so funny. They're hilarious. They're the crazy Barbie with the long hair, long curly hair.
oh dear.
And behind her is like a devastation, the fire and the ambulance and the police and the fire brigade and the whole place is burning down. And she's just
Well, a couple of months ago, it might not have been that long ago, I'm sitting here doing a podcast with Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot, the fellas, and Breakaway Ray. So we're doing this podcast and it's really good. Then one of the guys is channeling and everything. And then I see the lights flash and I hear this boom. And I'm like looking around, you see me like, so I kind of go on, I go and look out the door, can't see anything. carry on with the podcast for another 30 minutes, right? Then I go outside, there's flashing red lights everywhere. My house was the only house on the entire block. My flat even had electric. Everybody else had no electric for more than 24 hours. But me, who'd been sitting on a podcast with Matt channeling Jesus, right, had my electric. So I had to go out. I actually phoned up Miles and I said, I don't know what's going on here. Why have I got power and no one else has? Like, call an engineer, you know. And he said, you must be on some kind of auxiliary supply. Go and ask. So I went up to the fireman because I'm standing outside in the cold and people come up to me saying, can we come into your place, love, and have a cup of tea? And I was like, sorry, no, because I'm a hoarder for a start. And I'm a single parent, so no one's coming in. And so I went up to the fire brigade and I said, look, I'm on a completely different power line to everybody else. Is that true? And they said, yes. And I said, well, I'm going home. And they said, okay, there's nothing they could do. But it took out an entire block. It wasn't just my road. It was an entire, area, except me. And I had a guest on who was channeling Jesus and Gaia. There we go. So divinely protected, if I ever doubted. I am divinely protected and guided. Yeah.
And is it only your flat that was?
Yeah, so I'm in a maisonette. So there's a lady downstairs and I'm upstairs, and it looks like a house, but it's divided. But so I am on a completely different power line to the lady below me. Does that make any sense? We do not have emergency lighting. We are not in a traditional flat. It doesn't make any sense that I am. When I looked out, so there's a main road on my right hand side. When I looked out the window, what had actually happened was something had blown under the road, and it kind of blown out the power line and blown up the sidewalk. The pavement had blown up outside my house.
Oh, Jesus, huh?
I've protected by Mother Gaia and Jesus.
Yeah.
On the podcast, because this is sacred, important work, obviously. Carried on, keep moving forward. And then I go out to find out that everyone else is in darkness. And they're all in their dressing gowns as well, right? So it was so weird. Yeah, freaking awesome it was. So I'm definitely, this podcast is important. It is. I'm not just saying that. It's important enough for me not to lose power with all the other 50 homes that did. It just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah. Jerry's also a hoarder. And he's talking about his witchy granny. And he said, is my Irish granny, was she a witch? What's the signs of her being a witch? And I said, well, was she a creative, intelligent woman? They're the signs of being a witch. Yeah. People who love connecting with nature and being outdoors, we're all witches or priestesses, as I identify these days as a high priestess alchemist. So anyway, so I'm going to finish up. This has been so amazing, and we definitely need to do this more often.
Yes, please.
He's saying his granny looks like the granny on the Beverly Hillbillies.
I used to love them.
Oh, Granny Irene Ryan. Oh, Jerry, you're so funny. You're so funny. So thank you everybody for joining us. Please do visit somaarah.love. If you'd like to book a personal session with Soma, you can find her on Substack, Facebook, YouTube. She has groups Saturday and Sunday, which are free or donation based. And then she has groups on a Wednesday and a Friday that you will get access to if you join her Substack subscription, okay, her paid subscription, which is incredible value. So thank you so much for doing all these wonderful readings and sharing your point of view with us. It's been brilliant.
Thank you so much, Julia. I always love coming onto your podcasts and connecting with you. And I'm in awe of how far you've come in such a short space of time. And just keep going, girl. Just keep going.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent a PayPal or a Zelle. We really appreciate it. Thank you so